Alrighty, so today we're going to talk about something that's been a long time coming. There's been a lot of rumors throughout the off season of what exactly is going to happen with the Leeds Cup and the U.S. Open Cup. How many teams is going to participate in? Is everybody going to participate in the Leeds Cup? Is everyone going to participate in the U.S. Open Cup? And is everybody going to even participate in the Canadian Championship as well? Well, the answer to that is sort of. So what's kind of weird when they broke out this news is they call this the North American Cup, even though technically, these are different competition. And, MLS did try their best in terms of creating a ways to qualify for these competition, though there are definitely some exception that we'll try to talk about. But even when I look at it, I'm still kind of confused in terms of it because, again, this is MLS. Nothing tends to make sense at times. But one thing I know for sure going to the Leeds Cup first of all is that not every team is going to be participating in the Leeds Cup. So unlike previous year where every team is going to participate, there's only going to be 18 teams that is going to participate. And in some way, it feels like the Leeds Cup qualification is very similar to what it used to be before the Leeds Cup become a very big thing. In the first couple of years of the Leeds Cup, it was like the top four teams in the conference facing off against the top four, top eight team in Liga MX. Well, now it seems like it's pretty much the top nine teams, and pretty much all teams that made it to the playoffs last season will be participating in the Leeds Cup. And then, of course, the rest of the team that didn't make the playoffs, well, unfortunately, tough luck for them. They don't have the Leeds Cup this year. Though I say it's tough luck, but for some teams, maybe it's a good thing because again, the Leeds Cup has been ridiculed for these past couple of seasons, especially last year as well when it comes to the general like not being very happy with this competition. Now, one thing I also want to mention before we get through the teams in what competition it is that they also mentioned that not only there's going to be 16 teams that's going to be participating in the U.S. Open Cup, but there's also going to be MLS Next Pro team that is going to participate. But not every single MLS team that's not participating in the U.S. Open Cup will send their MLS Next Pro team. Again, I don't understand of the logic of that, but I guess that's what it is. And then the other thing that is also important to note is that in order to help fixture congestion, a MLS team cannot participate more than two competitions. So two is basically the maximum if you're already participating in the CONCACAF Champions Cup. Most likely, you're not going to be participating in the Leeds Cup or in the U.S. Open Cup, or in this case, it's definitely the U.S. Open Cup because the Leeds Cup qualification is teams that finish in the top nine of their respective conference, and pretty much all the team that were in the CONCACAF Champions Cup this year, all of them made it to the playoffs. So pretty much all of them is not going to be participating in the U.S. Open Cup. Speaking of which, let us begin talk about the CONCACAF Champions Cup and which team is going to involve. Though this is going to be very quick because we already knew who we're going to participate in. We already knew FC Cincinnati, Colorado Rapids, Columbus, LAFC, LA Galaxy, Inter Miami, RSL, Seattle Sounders, Sporting KC, and the Vancouver Whitecaps are all teams that's going to participate in the CONCACAF Champions Cup. But now we get to talk about the Leeds Cup. So the Leeds Cup again, these are the team that made it to the playoffs last season. Will be participating in the Leeds Cup. We got Atlanta United, Charlotte FC, FC Cincinnati, Colorado Rapids, Columbus Crew, Houston Dynamo, LAFC, LA Galaxy, Inter Miami, Minnesota United, CF Montreal, NYCFC, New York Red Bulls, Orlando City, Portland Timbers, Real Salt Lake, San Diego FC, and the Seattle Sounders are going to be participating in the Leeds Cup. Now, remember how I said, the top, all the teams that made it to the playoffs. They're not going or the top 19 in the standings last season, and all the team that made it to the playoffs, they are going to be persons in the league stuff. Well, there's only one exception, and the exception, of course, is the fact that San Diego FC. How are they in the Leeds Cup even though they didn't make it get to the playoffs because they didn't even play last season. This is their first season. Well, the reason why is because the Vancouver Whitecaps is already in the Canadian Championship and also in the CONCACAF Champions Cup. So I guess this is kind of how they live it, and I don't think that's a bad idea to do so. Though my question is, how in the world were they not included in the U.S. Open Cup? Like they could have easily included in the U.S. Open Cup, and they probably could have worked something out as well. But that being said, speaking of the U.S. Open Cup, so we got Austin FC, Charlotte FC, Chicago Fire, FC Dallas, DC United, Houston Dynamo, Minnesota United, Nashville SC, New England Revolution, NYCFC, New York Red Bulls, Orlando City, Philadelphia Union, Portland Timbers, San Jose Earthquakes, and St. Louis City that are going to be in the U.S. Open Cup. And most of these teams obviously did not make it to the playoffs last season, and it kind of makes sense that they're in this competition as well because most of the team are not in the CONCACAF Champions Cup, and some of these teams only gets to play one competition because they're not even eligible to make it to the Leagues Cup because they didn't make it to the playoffs. And again, depending on how you view it, that could be a good news for some of these teams that did not make it to the playoffs. I mean, they have one less competition to worry about. Again, one of the reason why they try to create this is they want to fix the fixture congestion, and I guess this idea kind of fixed some of the problems it has. I kind of feel like this solution that MLS is trying to do, they're trying their best in terms of making sure all party are satisfied on this. I mean, there are some drawbacks in terms of this. Obviously, once again, you're not going to have every MLS team in the U.S. Open Cup, which kind of breaks the tradition. But at the same time, it's at least better than what we saw last season when only 8 teams made it and the rest were just MLS Next Pro team. Speaking of MLS Next Pro, we actually have a couple of teams that are not even affiliates with an MLS team that's going to be in the U.S. Open Cup. We got Carolina Core and Chattanooga FC. Both teams are not affiliates with an MLS team that's going to be in the U.S. Open Cup. Then you, of course, get Cincinnati 2, Columbus Crew 2, Inter Miami 2, LAFC 2, Real Monarchs, Sporting KC 2, Tacoma Defiance, and Ventura County FC are the team that is in the MLS Next Pro. Obviously, these teams are teams that we mentioned here on this left side. Of course, they decided to participate in this competition. Because their main team are already have 2 competition to battle. Now, one team that I already know this straight away that is not included in the list that probably should have. I don't know why they didn't include Colorado Rapids 2 in that. I mean, I'm pretty sure the Rapids have an MLS Next Pro team, so that's kind of an oddity in terms of them not included in the competition as well. And the same goes for Atlanta United as well. Atlanta, they are a team that probably could also got a U.S. Open Cup spot. I heard they said that they kind of ran out of spots in terms of that. But yeah, again, some of these qualifications, there are some exception in terms of it's weird exception, but you just gotta have to work with me with that and also work with MLS of how they decide it all and make it all balanced. And then of course, lastly, we got the Canadian Championship. We got the free team Vancouver, Toronto FC, and Montreal participate in that competition. And again, whether you like it or not, I guess this is probably the best way in terms of them fixing the fixture congestion. I mean, ultimately, the big elephant in the room is obviously the easiest way to fix this is just get rid of the Leeds Cup. I mean, it's simple as that, but obviously it's not that simple because as we know, the whole reason why we have the Leeds Cup is obviously it's a great way to generate revenue. And not to mention, I have a feeling when Apple TV signed this contract to be the main TV broadcast for MLS game for the next decade, the Leagues Cup was a big part of the package itself. So yeah, obviously, like I said, it's here to stay, whether you like it or not. And it'll be interesting to see whether or not if teams will take it serious. I mean, at the end of the day, as much as it's a cash cow kind of tournament, it is still a chance to get yourself in the CONCACAF Champions Cup as well. Nothing really changed when it comes to the qualification of the Leagues Cup. If you are able to finish in the top 3, you basically guarantee your spot in the CONCACAF Champions Cup. And I think this is now maybe make it a little now to qualify because there's going to be less team you have to deal with. Though, it could be easier, though it could also be harder because now you have all the good team that is in there, and there might not be a chance where you might face an easy opponent and get yourself deep into the competition compared to what we see in the last two season. But either way, let me know in the comments below. What do you think of this format? Do you like this format? Do you think this is the right way to do so? But either way, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure you guys leave a like, smash the subscribe button, and yeah, I of course will see you guys next time.